Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Sarasating Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nittang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto. Chapter 3. What is today's verse? Yeah. 5th Canto, Chapter 3, Text 1. I think text 1 doesn't have a purport. So we go to, okay. So this is the beginning of the chapter, so we'll read the summary of this chapter also. This chapter is entitled as Rishabdev's appearance in the womb of Merudevī, the wife of King Nābhi. In this chapter, the spotless character of King Nābhi, the oldest son of Āgnīdhra, is described. Wanting to have a son, Mahārāja Nābhi underwent severe austerities and penances. He performed many sacrifices along with his wife and worshipped Lord Viṣṇu, master of all sacrifices. Being very kind to his devotees, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was very pleased with the austerities of Merudevī. He personally appeared before the king in his four-handed feature, and the priests who were performing the sacrifices began to offer their prayers unto him. They prayed for a son like the Lord, and Lord Viṣṇu agreed to take birth in the womb of Merudevī, the wife of King Nābhi, and incarnate as King Rishabdev. So, we go to now, just read the verse 1, which, anyway, so what we'll do is, this verse doesn't really have, it's not in a poetry form, so it's in a prose form, so I'll just read it through. śrī-śuka uvāca, nābhir apatya-kāmo aprajayā, merudevyā bhagavantam, yajña-puruṣam, avahita-ātmāyajata. Sri Śukadeva Gosvāmī continued to speak. Mahārāja Nābhi, the son of Āgnīdhra, wished to have a son, and therefore he attentively began to offer prayers and worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Viṣṇu, the master of the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Mahārāja Nābhi's wife, Merudevī, who had not given birth to any children at that time, also worshipped Lord Viṣṇu along with her husband. Tasyaha bhava shraddhaya Vishuddha bhavena yajata pravargeshu pracharatsu drabya desho kala mantra tig dha kshina vidhana yoga payatya yoga payatta duradhighamo api bhagavan bhagavato vatsallataya supratika atmanam aparajitam nija janabhi pretartha vidhitsaya grihitad hridayo hridayangama mano nayanananda nabhayaba bhiram amabhishchakara. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. In the performance of sacrifice, there are 7 transcendental means to obtain the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By 1, by sacrificing valuable things or eatables. 2, by acting in terms of place. 3, by acting in terms of time. 4, by offering hymns. 5, by going through the priest. 6, by offering gifts to the priests. And 7, by observing the regulative principles. However, one cannot always obtain the Supreme Lord through the paraphernalia. Nonetheless, the Lord is affectionate to His devotee. Therefore, when Mahārāja Nābhi, who was a devotee, worshipped and offered prayers to the Lord with great faith and devotion, and with a pure, uncontaminated mind, superficially performing some yajña in the line of prajayā, the kind Supreme Personality of Godhead, due to his affection for his devotees, appeared before King Nābhi in his unconquerable and captivating form with 4 hands. In this way, to fulfill the desire of his devotee, the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifested himself in his beautiful body before his devotee. This body pleases the mind and eyes of the devotees. Everyone understood? Okay. So I'll just try to explain the translation of the verse. So, as we described, that this chapter is describing that how King Āgnīdhra's, these are the genealogical description. Who came after who. So this is how we can see we are having complete description of the line. Actually, Srimad Bhagavatam gives us the understanding right from Brahma down to different personalities, different exalted personalities. It starts, the creation in the universe started how? Brahma was the first created being. Then Brahma's first 4 sons were the 4 Kumaras. Then Brahma's 10 sons, 9 were the great Prajapatis, the progenitors. Pulasta, Pulaha, Kratu, Angira, Marichi, Vasishtha, Daksha. And the youngest one was Narad Muni. Narad. And then Brahma had also other children. Another set of Brahma's creation was Brahma's right hand side came Manu, and Brahma's left hand side came Shatarupa. So the first man and first woman. And from them started another line of procreation, those who are known as human beings or Manavas, Manu's children. So, and Manu had 2 sons and 3 daughters. Manu's 2 sons were Priyavrata and Uttanapat. Then one line came from Priyavrata's side, one line came from Uttanapad's side. From Uttanapad's side came Dhruva Maharaj. And then the description of the family line goes on. So here it is coming to King Āgnīdhra, and now it's coming to his son, King Nābhi. So Nābhi got married to Merudevī. And Merudevī rather. Nābhi got married to Merudevī, and when they wanted to have children, they performed severe austerities. Now this is another aspect of Vedic culture. The children are not begotten just whimsically or accidentally. No, the proper preparation is there. And the main preparation is they perform great austerities. Why great austerities? Because through great austerities, they invite an appropriate soul. The accidental birth gives birth to cats and dogs. But the systematic birth only create proper children. And that is the Vedic understanding. The purpose of a man and woman getting together is simply for the sake of procreation. Putrarthe kriyate bharja. The purpose of accepting a wife is to have children. Not the purpose of getting married is not just to have indiscriminate sex life. That is animalistic way of life. Even the animals don't do that. Even the animals unite for the sake of procreation. But today's society, what is happening? You can see. So degraded. Like the sex life becomes the whole purpose of life. And now they are getting homosex, same sex. What kind of life is that? And they are being accepted by the leaders of the society. They are promoting it. Anyway, so that's why the knowledge of the Vedas, knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam, knowledge of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is so important. Because only through this knowledge people get to know what is the purpose of human life. The purpose of human life has a specific object. The human life has a specific objective. And what is that objective? To go back to Godhead. That is the purpose of human life. That Manushya janama paiya Radha Krishna na bhojiya janiya shuniya bisho khaino. After getting the human form of life, if we do not worship Radha Krishna, if we do not become devotees of Radha Krishna, then it is like drinking poison knowingly. Knowingly drinking poison. We know that drinking poison will die, but still we are drinking poison. Does an intelligent person do that? Never. Will any intelligent person drink poison? But now it is happening. People are drinking alcohol. What is alcohol? Poison. Intoxication. They are taking drugs. Poison. Madhya Pradesh is famous for opium production. People are getting addicted. And they have programs like Nasha Mukti Sibir. Nasha Mukti. How to get out of that habit of taking Nasha, intoxication. But human life is not meant for drinking poison. Human life is meant for drinking nectar. Because the living entities are amritasya putra. That is the Vedas are declaring. Shrinnantu vishye amritasya putra. Listen, the living entities, especially the human beings of this world, that you all are children of Amrita, immortality. Although this is the world of Martaloka, Mrittuloka, but the goal of life is to achieve immortality. Because we are immortal. Only thing is that we have to become situated in our actual position. Anyway, so this is how we can see that that ISKCON has such an important responsibility to bring proper knowledge into the human society. There is no knowledge in the human society today. Now it is, as Prabhupada used to say, misdirected civilization. Today's civilization is completely misdirected. They don't know where to go. They don't know where they are going. Andha jathaiva, andha upagiyamana. Blind people are leading blind people. So where does a blind person lead? Can the blind person show the right path? A person who cannot see, can he show the right path? But that is what is happening. People, those who are blind, people, those who are spiritually blind, they are leading the society. Big leaders, political leaders, president of the country, prime minister of the country. But they're blind men. They don't know what the knowledge is. They don't know what the ultimate goal of life is. But they are becoming leaders. And what is happening? The whole society is going down to destruction. Because if they don't have spiritual understanding, what they will go for? They'll go for only material objective. And material objective degrades people. Materialistic way of life, what does it teach? Get money by which way it is possible, by hook or by crook. Get money. And they are earning money in a sinful way because they don't have proper understanding. They are accumulating money in a sinful way. They are stealing, they are robbing. The other day somebody in America was telling me that most of the rich people are crooks. They become rich by cheating people. That is how they become rich. But what is the point in having that wealth? If you steal money and get the wealth, what will be the outcome? Police will come and catch you. And if the police don't come and catch you, then Jamdutas will come and catch you. We can escape material law, the law of this world, but we cannot escape the divine law. Karmana daiva netrena jantar dehupapattai. Daiva netrena. The divine eyes are watching. Daiva netrena. Daiva means divine, netra means eyes. The divine eyes are watching. Who? The demigods are watching. We may not be able to see them, but they are seeing us. They are seeing us. And everything that we are doing, they are recording. Especially Jamraj has a secretary, Chitragupta. And he keeps the record for everyone. In a way, it may seem to be impossible, but now we are seeing the different countries, especially America, they have the record of every single person in the country. They know everything about everybody. How? Through computer. So if we can have a computer, why can't Chitragupta have a computer? Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. So, so that is how Chitragupta is keeping note for every single person. And the reason is that, and accordingly, they are going to be punished. When somebody does something wrong, he is going to be punished. And today's world, we are seeing everyone is involved practically in sinful activity. Meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling. It's only the devotees who are being situated in knowledge, they are leading a proper life. And they are leading the proper life because they know the scriptures. Or at least they should know. Like to be a devotee doesn't mean just to shave a head, put tilak and kantimala. No, our life should be of a devotee. Life should be dedicated to Krishna's service. Life should be dedicated to cultivate this knowledge. Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya. All the time reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Leading our lives according to Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyway, to go back to the main point. So when King Nābhi and Merudevī wanted to have children, what did they do? They performed severe austerities. And as a result of that, the Lord came and asked, what do you want? Because when the Lord comes, He makes an offer. So what do you want? And they said, we want a son like you. And his reply was, Tathastu. Let it be. When the Lord agrees, that is the boon He grants. Let it be. Because you want a son like me, you'll get a son like me. I'll come as you. Actually, nobody can be like the Lord. So when somebody wants a son like the Lord, the Lord has to come Himself. So here we can see the Lord came as Rishabdev, an incarnation. So this is how it is leading to Rishabdev's story. Now let me read the purport. By His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly said, Bhakta mam abhijanati, javan jaschashmi tattataha, tato mang tattato gyatva, bishati tad anantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality as He is only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of Godhead. Bhagavad Gita 18:55. One can understand and see the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the process of devotional service and not in any other way. Although Mahārāja Nābhi performed prescribed duties and sacrifices, it should still be considered that the Lord appeared before him not due to his sacrifices, but because of his devotional service. It was for this reason that the Lord agreed to appear before him in his beautiful bodily features. As stated in Brahma Samhita, the Supreme Lord in his original nature is very beautiful. Venung kanantam aravinda dalayatакṣam barhavatang samasitam buddhasundarangam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, although blackish, is very, very beautiful. So in the purport, Prabhupada is making the point that King Nābhi performed sacrifice. But it is, although the sacrifice is performed in a specific way, but it is not that through the performance of sacrifice the Lord appears. Lord appears due to the devotion of his devotee. It is due to his devotion that the Lord appears, not by the performance, mechanical performance of sacrifice. So the ultimate purpose of sacrifice is to develop one's love for the Lord. Now in other ages there are various kinds of sacrifices like Agnihotra, Agnishtoma, Ashwamedha, Gomedha. These were the various sacrifices. But in this age, what is the sacrifice? Jaggai Sankirtana Prajayā. In this age, the sacrifice is Sankirtan. Chanting the holy name of the Lord. Glorifying the Lord. Chanting the holy name of the Lord actually means to glorify the Lord. Initially we may chant mechanically without really understanding the purpose of chanting. But as we make advancement, then we begin to realize that actual purpose of the chanting of the name is to glorify the Lord. Because what is the name of the Lord? The names of the Lord are synonymous to his qualities and pastimes. So when we chant his names, we become aware of his qualities. When we chant his name, we become aware of his pastimes. So now when we become aware of his qualities, then we meditate on those qualities, think about those qualities. And that is how Shravanam, Kirtanam, then after that, Smaranam, remembrance. The remembrance in Sankirtan or chanting the holy name of the Lord, the gradual progression is like that. Bhakti has 9 aspects. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Viṣṇu, Smaranam. Remembering the Lord's qualities is remembering the Lord. Therefore, or when we chant the name of the Lord according to his pastimes, then we remember the pastimes. Damodar. We recently celebrated Damodar month. Now Damodar, the moment we hear the name Damodar, what happens? Damodar, why the Lord got the name Damodar? Because he was tied by a rope by his belly. Now it goes back The moment we remember that, then we remember what actually happened. Why somebody tied the Lord by his belly with a rope? Why did they do that? Did he, just like a criminal is tied down by a rope? No. Yeah, he did. He committed a crime also. That's his pastime. He committed a crime. He broke the churning butter pot. Then he stole butter. So because of that, because of that crime, his mother wanted to punish him. And we get to remember the whole pastimes. Giridhari. Why Giridhari? He held the Giri, the mountain, Govardhan. Why did he do that? The whole pastimes comes to our mind. Gopinath. Why? Because he had his pastimes with the gopis. So this is how, when we think of his names, chant his names, we remember his activities and qualities. And then along with that comes our describing those activities to others. That is even more powerful. We remember that is good, but even better is to describe those activities of the Lord's to others. So, that is the meaning of Sankirtan. And when we do that, what happens? We recognize Lord's greatness, how great Krishna is. Like sometimes people ask questions. Like day before yesterday in Bombay, somebody asked me the question. A newcomer came to the class. And how could Krishna marry 16,000 wives? The simple answer to that is, if Krishna can be there in the heart of everybody, is Krishna there in the heart of everybody? So if Krishna is in the heart of everybody, so Krishna is with everybody. So why can't he be with 16,000 wives? What is difficult for Krishna? That's why, first of all, we have to understand who Krishna is. If we think that Krishna is another man, another human being, then mamla dismiss. There's nothing to talk about it. But we have to recognize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He just glances towards the material nature and the whole material creation comes about. And when he withdraws his glance from the material nature, whole material nature disappears. So we are talking about that person. Therefore, for him, what is so difficult to get married to 16,000 wives? And then Bhagavatam gives a proper description also. Krishna actually expanded himself into all 16,000 Krishnas. Narad Muni actually became curious. Narad Muni also became curious to find out how Krishna managed it. He got married to 60. He got the news that Krishna killed Narakasura, and Narakasura kept 16,000 princesses in captivity. So when Krishna killed Narakasura and released these princesses, they told Krishna that, look, we have been in captivity in Narakasura's prison, so no one will marry us. because everyone will think that we are contaminated. So no one will marry us. So you marry us. So Krishna said, fine. So that is how Krishna got married. Krishna actually rescued these 16,000 princesses. In a true sense, in a real sense. So Narad Muni got the news, so Narad Muni wanted to find out how Krishna is handling 16,000 with 16,000 wives. So Narad Muni went and he went to different palaces. In Rukmini's palace, he saw Krishna is acting in such and such way. Just woke up, brushed his teeth, took his bath, then he offered. No, not only that, Krishna, just after getting up, he meditated upon himself. So that is an indication. What should we do when we get up? As soon as we get up, we should meditate upon Krishna. In this way, somewhere Krishna just took bath and Krishna is worshipping, performing yajña. Somewhere Krishna is playing with his children. In some house, Krishna is just getting ready to go to the assembly hall. Sudharma assembly. And then it has also been described, Narad Muni saw, that each Krishna is coming out of the palace and everyone in the palace and around seeing him, that Krishna. In another palace, Krishna, they are seeing another Krishna. Then finally, when they come to Sudharma assembly, they all merge and become one Krishna. So all these unlimited Krishnas, 16,000 Krishnas are merging into one Krishna and coming to the Sudharma assembly. So that is Krishna. So this is how the Lord performs his inconceivable pastimes. And we have seen, and that's why it's so wonderful to meditate upon his pastimes. He is performing such wonderful acts. The demons are coming. They seem to be invincible. Even the demigods cannot deal with them. Even the demigods who are so powerful, they're defeated and they're running away from them. They're hiding because of their torture. But Krishna comes, just a small little boy, 5 years old, 6 years, at the age of 5, at the age of 6, at the age of 7, Krishna is killing all these demons. When Krishna went to Kamsa's palace, he was invited to Kamsa's palace. But Kamsa's intention was to kill him. And the arrangement was, there was a terrible wrestler, two wrestlers, Chanur, Mushtik. There are 6 brothers. Chanur, Mushtik, Shal, Toshal, etc. So, eldest one, Chanur and Mushtik were extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. And they had a huge, gigantic body. And Krishna and Balaram, just 2 little boys. And everybody started to say, what kind of match is this? Wrestling match takes place between the equals. Like heavyweight, bantamweight, featherweight. There are different weights for, and in the same size, same weight category, they fight with each other. But here is a little boy and there's two big giants. So everyone was saying, and Krishna also said, like we are just little boys. And you are so big, like how can I fight with you? And you all are expert wrestlers. And we are just village boys and we wrestle among ourselves, among our friends. So this is not a proper match. Then Chanur said, no. You may look like little boys, but you all are special ones. We can see that Chanur and Mushtik also could recognize Krishna being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not in that sense. Their argument was that just yesterday you broke the Haradhanu, the bow of Lord Shiva. You killed Kubalaya Pira, the elephant. That nobody could kill, nobody could defeat that elephant. So although you look little boys, but you are not little boys, you are something different. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Jai Shri Shri Nishinga Bhagavan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So that is how Krishna plays his pastimes and gives us an opportunity to meditate upon him. And by meditating upon him, meditating upon Krishna's activities, what do? We become attracted to Krishna. Don't we become attracted to some heroes? Like we hear, I remember I became very attracted to Alexander the Great when I was little. Because I heard and read the stories about Alexander. And we became attracted. We became attracted to Arjun, isn't it? And nowadays people become attracted to Amitabh Bachchan. Why? Because they have some attractive features. But Krishna is the supreme attractive personality. Like that we like to hear about heroic activities of the heroes. And in your mind's eye you can see that. Like in remembering Alexander. Alexander was challenged Alexander challenged Darius, the king of Persia. And his army was 5 times larger than Alexander's army. And Darius was so confident. He said, he's a little boy. That little boy? Alexander was not very big. And at that time, Alexander was only 22 years old. So what little boy? He doesn't even have an army. And I have such a big army. So he was so confident of winning that he took his mother and wife with him in that battle. But Alexander attacked him when he was totally unprepared. He was passing through the mountain pass, and there he came down upon his army, wiped out the army. And Darius ran away, leaving his mother and wife behind. And so his mother and wife were captured. So he ran away. He made a proposal to Alexander that will give you so much wealth. Please release my mother and wife. And Alexander said, no, you don't have to give me the wealth. You just come and surrender yourself, I'll release your mother and wife. It's a great personality. Like what a greatness. We don't want your money. Just come and surrender unto me, I'll release your mother. And when his mother and wife were in captivity, Alexander treated them with great respect. So as a child, when you hear these activities naturally become attracted. And by being attracted to these kind of personalities, you also try to acquire these kind of qualities. Now, when we read Bhagavatam, what are these personalities like? Like everyone is such an illustrious personality. And ultimately Krishna. Krishna's activities are different. Natkhat Kanhaiya. Naughty Kanhaiya, in simple words. He's stealing butter, doing all kinds of mischief, and at the same time killing the demons. So attractive. And then what to speak of his beauty. Such a beautiful person. And just by hearing about Krishna's activities, one falls in love with Krishna. Do you know how Rukmini fell in love with Krishna? How did Rukmini fall in love with Krishna? One day Narad Muni came to her father's house, Bhishmaka's palace. And the fathers generally become worried about daughters' marriage. So Bhishmaka was asking Narad Muni, you travel around everywhere, and you see my daughter has come of marriageable age. Who do you think is an appropriate match for her? Narad Muni's immediate answer was Krishna. And he started to describe Krishna. His looks, his strength, his qualities, his generosity. And just by hearing that, Rukmini didn't even see Krishna. Just by hearing that, she fell in love with Krishna. And she decided, if I have to get married to somebody, it must be Krishna, no one else. And that's why when her brother, Rukmi, was arranging for a marriage with Shishupal, her mood was nothing doing. Daddy, you tell him to forget that. I'm not going to marry that character. But Bhishmaka was so fond of his son, and he was somewhat afraid of his son also, that he didn't want to go against him. So Rukmini then sent the Brahmana with a letter, a love letter to Krishna. And Krishna responded. Because whoever loves Krishna, Krishna becomes sold out to him. All one has to do is to tell Krishna, Krishna, I love you. Krishna said, fine, I love you too. So that is how Krishna's response was. Don't worry, I'm coming. And he came, and you know what happened after that. So this is how wonderful Krishna is. We simply have to hear his qualities. We simply have to listen to his activities, and we'll naturally fall in love with him. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Prahlad Nrsimhadev ki Jai. Does anybody have any question? Yes, Sadhan Siddha. Okay. Okay, you ask the question. You have the mic? Anyway, then let's go through this Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. This is coming from Ankit Vora. Question from America, United States. Oh, it's quite late, midnight. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Pamho AGTSP. Living entities are envious, and it also includes envy towards the Supreme Lord. However, according to Sri Ishopanishad invocation, envy cannot exist in conditioned living entities if it cannot exist in Krishna. Since he is the original source of everything, but it's bewildering, who would Krishna be envious of? There is no one who is superior to Krishna in any regards or even equal to him. Then how would envy arise in him? So envy is not there in Krishna. Actually, it is not that it is not in Krishna, then it cannot exist. The understanding is that if it is not in the spiritual nature, material nature being the reflection, how can it be in the material nature? Yes, we find Shishupal is envious of Krishna. Dantavakra is envious of Krishna. Jarasandha is envious of Krishna. So in spiritual sky also envy, but if you say that how the envy manifests, since it is coming, everything is coming from Krishna. It is envy is the perverted reflection of love. Perverted reflection is perverted, opposite. Love, spiritual world is full of love. And the reflection in the material world is full of envy. So the next question is Dipesh Baghel, Bangalore. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Maharaj, if one is more inclined towards hearing and reading about the Lord rather than chanting, then should he engage himself in reading, hearing, kirtan or other services when he gets free time and his quota of 16 round is finished, or he should chant more? Good question, Dipesh. You see, you are saying that if one is not inclined towards hearing and but he is fond of reading, so then should he engage himself in reading? Actually, hearing and reading is the same. Reading is also hearing. So, if you have time after 16 rounds, chanting 16 rounds, and then you can read or you can hear Prabhupada's tapes. That's same as hearing and chanting. So another question from Ankit from United States. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Pamho AGTSP. We hear that the Guru doesn't go back to Godhead until all his disciples are liberated. This is difficult to understand. His disciples will become Guru as well, and thus they couldn't go back until all their disciples are liberated, which would go on ad infinitum. So how does this work? Follow-up question. To what extent can the Guru be personally present after his departure from the material world? How would we qualify the term present? Good question, Ankit. So, the thing is, as you pointed out, the conclusion is It's inconceivable. It's inconceivable. Like, how does it then mean that one will always remain in the material nature? Because the Guru's disciples will become Gurus and they'll have their disciples. So until their disciples are delivered, they cannot leave. So and their disciples will become Gurus. So until their disciples are delivered, they cannot leave the material nature. So how can it, as you mentioned, that ad infinitum, meaning eternally the Guru has to stay in the material nature. The thing is, when you become engaged in devotional service, then there is no material nature. It's all spiritual. When you are serving Krishna, then it is spiritual world, although you may be here. And the other thing is that Krishna himself is saying, Amar aggai guru hoiya taro ei desh. But then he is saying, Kovuna badhibe tomai bishoy tarango, punaropi ei thai pabe mor sango. Don't worry that if you think that if you become a guru, then you'll get stuck forever. No. Don't worry about that. Kovuna, materialistic way of life, Bishaya Tarango, the waves of materialistic life will not be able to touch you. And you will get my association again in this place. So if you are in the association of Krishna, if you are serving Krishna, then there is no difference between material and spiritual. And when Krishna wants, Krishna can take you back. That is, therefore, a devotee's consideration is not when I'll get liberated. Liberation is a side effect of devotional service. Therefore, devotees don't worry about liberation. Devotees are already liberated. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yes, Sadhan Siddha, what's your question?
As you know that Srimad Bhagavatam is a complete form of Buddha. So we see throughout Srimad Bhagavatam there are so many descriptions of karma. How do we understand?
And I don't know why you have to come up with all kinds of questions like that. Who said Bhagavatam is full of karma kanda?
Complete Amal Purana. We see there are so many descriptions about karma kanda.
What's that?
There are so many descriptions about karma kanda and jnana. So,
Where do you find karma kanda and jnana kanda?
right, we see there are the sacrifice and this.
But under the beyond the sacrifice, what you are seeing? Devotion. Yes, it is saying in this verse, Nābhi performed sacrifice. But did Krishna come because of the sacrifice? Did you listen to the purport? What did Prabhupada say? Did he come for the sacrifice or he came for devotion? So in Bhagavatam, what you are reading? You'll see Bhagavatam the way you want to see it. If your mind is in karma kanda, you'll find karma kanda. You won't see Bhagavatam then. You will see karma kanda. Any other question? You yourself are saying Amal Puran. Then you are questioning Śukadeva Gosvāmī? When Śukadeva Gosvāmī is saying Amal Puran, Vyasdev is saying Amal Puran, then you have become wiser than Vyasdev and you are finding karma kanda, jnana kanda. Don't be too intelligent. Become simple, become humble. That is devotion. Devotees are simple-hearted. Take things as it comes. Take things as our acharyas have presented it. Don't try to think beyond the acharyas. Okay. Any other question? Yes.
So my question is, how to best meditate upon Krishna as the supreme and only enjoyer?
How to best?
Meditate upon Krishna as the supreme and only enjoyer.
How to meditate as a supreme enjoyer? Just read Krishna book, read Bhagavatam, and what will you find there? Who is the supreme enjoyer there? Then, so that is the way, that's why we have to read, that's why we have to listen to Prabhupada's tapes, Prabhupada's lectures. He is the supreme enjoyer, but at the same time, he is giving pleasure to others. Right? Krishna is enjoying. In this respect, an example is given. When a rich man throws a party or makes some arrangement of a festival, does only the rich man enjoys the festival? Or whoever comes to the festival enjoys? So that is how Krishna is. He is enjoying and everyone else also is enjoying with him. Yes, Archana? Take the mic.
So we see in the example of King Nābhi, Krishna being satisfied appeared from the left. So in this age of Nābhi, how do we know that Krishna is being apatya-kāmo?
How do we?
How do we know that Krishna is pleased by our austerities?
You just keep trying. Don't try to know. Right? Leave it up to Krishna. Our business is to serve him. Right? And then it's up to the master whether how he will take it. Right? Okay, consider. A servant is serving the master. The servant is cooking for the master. So how is he cooking? He is meditating what the master will like it. What will please the master. He is using his maximum effort and ability. But then it's up to the master. If the master said, today what you cooked is terrible, what will the servant say? His attitude is, okay, I'm sorry. Tomorrow I'll try even better. Right? So that is the attitude of a devotee. To please Krishna is not easy. Because he owns everything. But we keep trying, and at the same time Krishna is easy to please. Right? Krishna is saying, surrender unto me. So that is what we have to do. To the degree we will surrender, to that extent Krishna will be pleased. Okay, thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande.